In the year 2157, humans finally reached the stars. After years of hard work, Earth joined the Galactic Concord, a group of over 30 alien species who had been traveling space for thousands of years. Ambassador Kevin Howard led Earth's team to the main space station near the star Proxima Centauri. His chest swelled with pride as their ship docked. Humans had come so far, and now they would take their place among the stars. But pride quickly turned to shame. "Your ships only use 4 dimensions for travel," asked Zixtar, a tall alien with 6 waving tentacles. The computer that translated his speech couldn't hide the mockery in his voice. "How quaint. Most species master at least 6 dimensions before they join space society." Dr. Amanda Lewis, Earth's best scientist, felt her face grow hot. Around them, aliens of all shapes and sizes made strange sounds, the equivalent of laughter. "We've made great progress with our drive systems," she tried to explain, but the aliens just clicked and whistled more, not even letting her finish. The meeting went downhill from there. The Galactic Concord labeled Earth as a developing world, which meant humans could only trade a little and had no real say in galactic politics. The aliens sought humans as primitive newcomers, barely worth their time. What none of the aliens knew was that back on Earth, hidden deep under the Mojave Desert, something amazing was happening. In a secret base called Project Tesseract, a team led by Dr. Noah Richards and Captain Olivia Garcia worked day and night on a project that would change everything. Noah stared at the message from the diplomatic team, his face grim. "They think we're stupid," he said. "Let them laugh. They have no idea what's coming." Olivia nodded, looking through the huge window at their creation. The U.S. Infinity sat in its enormous hangar, looking deceptively simple from the outside. But inside was the most advanced technology humans had ever built, a ship that could travel through the 7th dimension. "Most species never even reach the 5th dimension," Noah said, checking data on his screen. "The Altherans, the ones who laugh the loudest at us today, have been stuck trying to understand the 7th dimension for centuries." "How much longer until we're ready?" Olivia asked, watching engineers swarm around the ship like busy ants. 2 more weeks of testing," Noah answered. "Then we can show the galaxy what humans are really capable of." That night, as they worked late, a message came in from Ambassador Howard. The aliens had put new rules in place, limiting where Earth ships could go and what they could trade. The message was clear: "Stay in your place, humans. They're trying to box us in," Olivia said, her voice hard with anger. "Keep us weak and dependent on them." Noah's tired face showed a hint of a smile. "They think they have thousands of years to watch us slowly develop. They have no idea we're about to take a shortcut through reality itself." In the hangar below, the ship's new pilot, Daniel Cooper, was running simulations. Unlike regular pilots, Daniel would connect directly to the ship with his mind. As the ship entered the 7th dimension, his consciousness would guide it through layers of reality that most beings couldn't even imagine. "How's it going?" Noah asked through the comm system. Daniel's voice came back confident. "Better every day. I can almost see it now. The patterns between dimensions, the way reality folds. When this ship activates, the galaxy won't be laughing anymore." Above them, stars twinkled in the night sky, each one home to civilizations that thought they knew the limits of what was possible. Soon, humanity would show them how wrong they were. The Tesseract facility never slept. Day and night, lights blazed as scientists and engineers worked around the clock. Hidden beneath the desert, this secret base held Earth's greatest hope, a ship that could travel through dimensions most aliens couldn't even understand. Dr. Noah Richards hadn't had a proper night's sleep in weeks. For 15 years, he had worked on his theory of higher dimensions. At first, other scientists had laughed at him, just like the aliens laughed at Earth now. But the government had seen the potential in his ideas and given him everything he needed to make them real. "The power levels are jumping again," said Eric Foster, a young engineer with dark circles under his eyes. He pointed to a screen showing wild patterns of energy. "We can't keep the ship stable past the 6th dimension." Noah ran his hands through his gray hair and sighed. "The 7th dimension isn't like the others. It's not just another direction to travel. It's where time and space become like clay that can be shaped." Captain Olivia Garcia watched from above. As the military leader of the project, she understood little of the complex science, but she knew one thing: Earth needed this ship to work. Without it, humans would remain at the bottom of the galactic ladder, looked down on by aliens who saw them as barely smarter than apes. Ambassador Howard sent another message, she said, walking up to Noah with a tablet. "The aliens are making new rules about trade. They're limiting what technology we can buy, what places we can visit. They're trapping us." Noah's face hardened. "How long do we have?" 3 months before the new rules start. Then we have 3 months to do the impossible. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, the Altheran Empire grew larger each year, taking over weaker alien worlds and their resources. Their scientists had been working on 7th-dimensional travel for hundreds of years, but thought it would take many more decades to achieve. They believed no other species was even close to this technology. They were very wrong. Back on Earth, the team faced problem after problem. The ship's engines could reach the 7th dimension, but couldn't stay there. The materials would start to break down, the energy core would overheat, and the test computers would crash. "Maybe we're thinking about this all wrong," said Dr. Sofia Martinez one morning after another failed test. She was an expert in how the mind works and had been studying the theories for months. "What if the 7th dimension isn't something we can reach with just machines?" Noah looked up from his coffee. "What do you mean?" "The 7th dimension responds to consciousness, to awareness," she explained, excitement growing in her voice. "Our machines fail because they don't have minds. They can't perceive or interact with that level of reality properly." The room fell silent as everyone considered this idea. "Are you suggesting we need a human pilot?" Olivia asked. Sophia nodded. "Not just any pilot. We need someone whose mind can connect directly with the ship's systems, someone who can see the patterns of higher dimensions and guide the ship through them." Noah's tired eyes suddenly lit up. "A neural interface. We could build a system that links a human brain to the dimensional drive." For the first time in weeks, hope filled the room. It was a crazy idea, dangerous and experimental, but it might just work. "I'll need a list of potential pilots," Olivia said, already thinking ahead. "People with the right mental abilities, who can handle the stress." As they rushed to build the new interface system, a stealth ship from the Altheran Empire quietly entered Earth's solar system. The aliens had detected strange energy readings and wanted to know what the primitive humans were doing. "Probably just basic engine tests," the Altheran captain told his crew. "Nothing to worry about. These humans are centuries behind us." Little did he know that beneath the desert, Earth was about to leap ahead in ways that would shake the entire galaxy. After Dr. Sofia Martinez's breakthrough, the Tesseract team worked faster than ever. They built a special chamber in the heart of the U.S. Infinity where a human pilot could connect their mind directly to the ship's systems. "The neural interface system," Noah explained to Captain Olivia Garcia as they looked at the pod filled with clear gel. "This will protect the pilot's body while their mind travels through the higher dimensions." The first tests were not successful. 3 pilots tried to connect with the ship, and all 3 came back with terrible headaches, nightmares, and confused thoughts. The 7th dimension was too alien for human minds to understand. "We need someone special," Sophia said after the 3rd failed attempt. "Someone whose brain can adapt to new ways of thinking." That's when Lieutenant Daniel Cooper joined the project. He was a quiet man with remarkable test scores and a mind that could solve puzzles others found impossible. "I've always seen patterns others miss," he told Noah during his interview. "Sometimes I dream in shapes that can't exist in our normal world." From his first test, Daniel showed promise. While the other pilots had fought against the strange feelings of the higher dimensions, Daniel embraced them. After a week of training, he made the breakthrough they needed. "I've touched it," he said, his voice filled with wonder as he emerged from the interface pod. "The seventh dimension. It's not like anything we can describe with words." Noah leaned forward eagerly. "What did you see?" Daniel's eyes seemed to look at something no one else could see. "It's not just another direction to travel. It's a place where the rules of reality are written. Like seeing the code behind a computer program. In there, I could potentially change those rules." The room fell silent as everyone considered what this meant. A ship that could travel through the seventh dimension wouldn't just move faster than other ships. It could create its own physics, bending reality itself within its field. "Can you navigate through it?" Olivia asked finally. Daniel nodded slowly. "I think so. With practice, I could guide the ship anywhere in normal space by taking shortcuts through the higher dimensions." As Earth's team made progress, the situation in space grew worse. Ambassador Kevin Howard sent more bad news from the diplomatic station. "The Galactic Concord is now doing safety inspections of all Earth ships," he reported. "They claim it's for our protection, but they're really looking for our technology." Even more worrying, the Altheran representative had started asking questions. "We've detected strange energy patterns from your system," he told Howard with fake concern. "Would Earth like to explain what it's working on?" Howard had smiled politely. "Just standard engine research. Nothing that would interest advanced species like yourselves." The Altheran wasn't fooled. His people had been studying dimensional physics for centuries. They recognized the energy signatures of dimensional experiments, though they couldn't believe humans had advanced so quickly. Back on Earth, the final preparations for the U.S. Infinity's test flight were underway. The ship sat in its hangar, sleek and black, looking almost ordinary from the outside. Inside, it contained technology that would change humanity's place in the galaxy forever. Daniel spent hours each day in the interface, learning to navigate the strange landscape of higher dimensions. "It's like learning to swim in air," he tried to explain. "Or like seeing a color that doesn't exist." Noah and Olivia watched the countdown timer with growing tension. In 2 weeks, the Galactic Concord's new restrictions would take effect, limiting Earth's development for decades to come. "Will we be ready?" Olivia asked quietly. Noah nodded, watching Daniel emerge from another successful test. "We'll be ready, and the galaxy will never be the same." The day of the U.S. Infinity's test flight arrived quietly. On official records, it was just a normal test of Earth's regular spaceships. In reality, it was the day that would decide humanity's future among the stars. The ship looked simple from the outside, a smooth black vessel with few visible features. But inside was technology that no other species thought possible for humans to create. "All systems check complete," Daniel Cooper reported from the neural interface chamber. His body floated in clear gel that would protect him from the physical stress of dimensional travel. "Power levels stable," confirmed Eric Foster from the engineering station. "Dimensional buffers at full capacity." Dr. Noah Richards and Captain Olivia Garcia looked at each other. After years of work and billions in resources, everything came down to this moment. "Begin dimensional drive activation," Olivia ordered, her voice steady despite her racing heart. The ship hummed as energy flowed through systems designed to bend reality itself. Daniel closed his eyes, his mind reaching beyond his body and into the ship's systems. He could feel the dimensions unfolding before him like pages in a book. "Passing fourth dimension," he reported, his voice sounding distant and strange. "Now fifth, sixth." Suddenly alarms began to blare. The ship started to shimmer, parts of it seeming to exist in multiple places at once. "Power fluctuations," Eric shouted. "The containment field is breaking down." Noah leaned forward to speak directly to Daniel. "Focus on the pattern I showed you. Don't think of the seventh dimension as a direction. Think of it as a state of possibility." For a terrifying moment, the ship seemed to be tearing itself apart. It existed in multiple dimensions at once without stability. Then Daniel's mind found the pattern, a special mathematical relationship that defined the seventh dimension. "I see it," he whispered. "It's beautiful." The alarms suddenly stopped. The U.S. infinity stabilized, now surrounded by a slight distortion that bent light around it like a mirage. "Seventh-dimensional state achieved," Daniel reported, his voice filled with wonder. "The ship is creating its own physics. I can see everything." In orbit around Earth, the Altheran spy ship's instruments went crazy. One moment the experimental human ship was there. The next it simply wasn't. Not hidden, not destroyed, but existing in a way their sensors couldn't understand. Before they could report back, the infinity reappeared directly behind them, having moved not just through space, but through reality itself. "This is Lieutenant Daniel Cooper of the U.S. Infinity," came the transmission. "We detected your ship and thought we'd say hello." The Altheran vessel fled at maximum speed, its crew shocked by what they'd seen. Something their scientists had said was impossible for centuries to come. On the Infinity, Noah looked at the readings with tears in his eyes. "We did it," he whispered. "We actually did it." Olivia nodded, already thinking about what came next. "Now we show the galaxy what humanity is truly capable of." The test continued for another hour as Daniel guided the ship through incredible maneuvers. The Infinity jumped from Earth to Mars in less than a second. It created a bubble where time moved slower. It even briefly existed in two places at once. When they finally returned to the Tesseract facility, the entire team was waiting. As the ship's ramp lowered, Daniel walked out, looking tired but changed in some indefinable way. "How was it?" Sophia asked him. Daniel smiled, his eyes now seeing more than normal human eyes could. "It was like being born again. We've only just begun to understand what's possible." As the team celebrated, a message arrived from Ambassador Howard. The Altheran spy ship had returned to the Galactic Concord with wild stories about the impossible human vessel. At first, no one believed them. "They think the Altheran's sensors malfunctioned," Howard reported with a smile. "No one believes humans could have achieved seventh-dimensional travel." Noah and Olivia exchanged knowing looks. "Let them doubt," Olivia said. "It will make their surprise even greater when we show up at the Concord's doorstep." News about the strange Earth ship spread quickly through the Galactic Concord. At first, the Altheran report was dismissed as a mistake or a lie. Humans simply couldn't have developed seventh-dimensional technology. It would be like cave people suddenly building a spaceship. That disbelief lasted until the U.S. Infinity appeared right in the middle of the Concord's main diplomatic station, passing through all their defense systems as if they didn't exist. Ambassador Kevin Howard stood proudly on the Infinity's bridge beside Captain Olivia Garcia as they addressed an emergency meeting of the Concord Council. "Distinguished representatives," he began, unable to hide his satisfaction at their shocked faces, "Earth would like to talk about our place in the Concord." What followed was a demonstration that left no doubt about Earth's achievement. The Infinity performed moves that broke the normal rules of physics. It appeared in multiple places at once, changed gravity fields around it, and even briefly altered the flow of time in a small area. "Impossible," whispered Zixtar, the Altheran representative who had been most dismissive of humans. "Your species has only had technology for a few thousand years. You should not be able to do this for thousands more." Dr. Amanda Lewis smiled. "Perhaps you judged us wrong. Human progress doesn't move in a straight line. It jumps forward in big leaps." The Galactic Concord faced an uncomfortable truth. The supposedly primitive humans had skipped over centuries of slow development and achieved something revolutionary. Even more worrying to some was the question of what else humans might be able to do if they could make such a leap. Not everyone reacted with fear. The Endauri, a peaceful species known for their deep thinking, approached the Earth team with real curiosity. "Your achievement is amazing," their representative said. "But we're more interested in how your minds thought of this. Your approach suggests you think differently from other species." This insight proved true. Human thinking, creative, intuitive, and pushed forward by their shorter lives, had allowed them to see connections that longer-lived, more methodical species missed. Where others saw limits, humans saw possibilities. As Earth's status was reluctantly raised to advanced civilization, the U.S. Infinity's success started a new space race. Every major power in the Concord rushed their own dimensional research, desperate not to fall behind. But for now, Earth had the only working 7th-dimensional ships, and with them came power no one had expected. We could demand anything we want, one Earth official suggested during a private meeting back home. The Concord would have to give it to us. Captain Olivia shook her head. That's exactly what they expect us to do, to act like bullies now that we have power. We need to be better than that. Ambassador Howard agreed. We were laughed at and looked down on. We know how that feels. We shouldn't do the same to others now that we have the advantage. The decision was made. Earth would use its new position to push for fair treatment of all species, not just humans. Worlds that had been exploited by the larger empires suddenly found they had an unexpected ally in humanity. Daniel Cooper, now promoted to captain for his achievements, spent more time connected to the higher dimensions than anyone else. Each time he emerged from the interface, he seemed changed in subtle ways. The more I see of the 7th dimension, the more I understand, he told Noah during a checkup. It's not just a way to travel. It's a layer of reality where information exists in its pure form before it becomes physical laws. This understanding opened new doors. If the 7th dimension contained the blueprint of reality, then someone operating there could potentially change those blueprints. The ethical questions were huge. Earth quickly formed a dimensional ethics committee to create rules for this unprecedented power. The ability to rewrite local physics could do great good, or become a terrible weapon. Meanwhile, the galaxy's political situation shifted dramatically. Species that once looked down on humans now sought friendships and alliances. The Altheran Empire, previously expanding aggressively, suddenly preferred diplomatic solutions rather than risk conflict with Earth. The galaxy wasn't laughing anymore. 6 months after the Infinity's big reveal, Earth had built 3 more 7th-dimensional ships. Each needed a special pilot who could connect their mind to the higher dimensions, making these pilots rare and valuable. Daniel Cooper, now Captain Cooper, had become famous throughout the galaxy. His time traveling through the 7th dimension had changed him. He saw patterns and connections that others couldn't see. The more time I spend connected to the ship, the more I understand, he explained to Noah during a checkup. The 7th dimension isn't just a travel route. It's a layer of reality where information exists in its pure form before it becomes physical laws. This knowledge opened new possibilities. If the 7th dimension held the blueprint of reality, then someone working there could possibly change those blueprints. The ethical questions were enormous. Earth created the Dimensional Ethics Committee to make rules for this new power. The ability to change physics in a small area could help many people or become the most dangerous weapon ever created. Meanwhile, the galaxy's political map changed quickly. Species that once looked down on humans now wanted to be friends. The Altheran Empire, which had been taking over other worlds, suddenly wanted peace rather than risk making Earth angry. Not everyone was happy with the new order. A group of species who felt threatened by humanity's fast rise began working in secret, developing ways to fight against 7th-dimensional technology. Their chance came when the U.S. Infinity, on a peace mission to a distant part of space, found something strange. An area where the 7th dimension seemed to be completely missing. It's like a dead zone, reported Daniel. I can't extend my mind into it. It's as if someone cut out that layer of reality. This discovery was alarming. If the 7th dimension could be blocked, Earth's new ships would be vulnerable. Captain Olivia Garcia decided to investigate personally, despite the risk. We need to understand this before others learn to use it against us, she insisted. As the Infinity approached the edge of the dead zone, sensors detected a massive energy buildup. It's a trap. Eric shouted as weapons fire erupted from hidden platforms surrounding the strange area. The Infinity's normal shields took the first hits, but the dead zone began to grow, threatening to swallow the ship and cut it off from the dimensional abilities that made it special. Daniel, connected to the ship through the neural interface, felt the seventh dimension slipping away. In desperation, he reached deeper than ever before, pushing past the seventh dimension to touch something beyond, an eighth-dimensional state that even Earth scientists hadn't thought about. What happened next would be talked about for years. The Infinity seemed to flicker between states of existence, sometimes there and sometimes not, its shape changing in ways that hurt the eyes of those watching. When the ship stabilized, the dead zone and the enemy ships had vanished, replaced by empty space. "What did you do?" Olivia asked, staring at the view screen in disbelief. Daniel's eyes, when he came out of the interface, held a strange light. "I didn't destroy them," he said quietly. "I rewrote that section of space-time. They never existed here." His words sent a chill through everyone on the bridge. Earth had just crossed another line, and the galaxy would never be the same. When they returned home, scientists worked day and night to understand what Daniel had done. The eighth dimension was beyond their current theories, but the evidence was clear. Humanity had touched something even more fundamental than the seventh dimension. "We need to be careful," Noah warned during an emergency meeting. "We're dealing with powers we barely understand." Across the galaxy, word spread about the incident. The coalition that had set the trap went silent, their failed attack making them realize they had pushed humanity too far. The Galactic Concord called for an emergency summit. If humans could rewrite reality itself, what were the implications for everyone else? The eighth dimensional event, as people called it, forced everyone to rethink humanity's place in the universe. If a human pilot could access and change reality at such a basic level, what were the limits? More importantly, what responsibilities came with such power? Earth called a summit, with representatives from every major civilization attending. The Galactic Concord, once dismissive of humans, now looked at them with a mix of fear, respect, and hope. "We stand at a crossroads," Ambassador Kevin Howard told the gathered aliens. "Humanity has unlocked abilities that could lead to control or cooperation, to creation or destruction. The choice we make will shape not just Earth's future, but the galaxy's." The revelation of the eighth dimension had deeply shocked confident species like the Altherans. Their representative, Zixtar, had changed his view completely. "We misunderstood humans," he admitted publicly. "We saw your shorter lives and your emotions as weaknesses. We failed to see that these traits drive you to innovations that our more careful, methodical approaches might never find." Dr. Amanda Lewis, now leading Earth's dimensional research team, proposed a bold plan. "We will share our understanding of seventh-dimensional physics with the Concord, under safety rules and ethical limits we develop together. The eighth dimension remains off-limits until we fully understand what it means." The proposal surprised many. Most had expected humans to use their advantage to take control. "Why would you share such power?" asked the Andalri representative. Captain Daniel Cooper, still changed by his experiences, stepped forward to answer. "Because what I glimpsed in the higher dimensions is that we, all thinking beings, are connected in ways our separate lives hide. Reality is something we all build together. No species creates it alone." His words rang with deep truth, touching something that went beyond cultural and biological differences. The dimensional accord that followed created a new framework for galactic civilization, one based not on technological superiority, but on the ethical use of knowledge. Earth, once laughed at, became the philosophical center of the galaxy. The U.S. Infinity and its sister ships were changed from potential weapons to exploration vessels, pushing the boundaries of known dimensions and bringing back discoveries that benefited all species. Noah Richards, watching the ceremony from the audience, was approached by Zixtar. "You know," the Altharan said thoughtfully, "when we first met your species, we called you the lucky monkeys. creatures who had stumbled onto technologies you couldn't possibly understand. Noah raised an eyebrow. And now? Now we understand that seeing reality with fresh eyes is not a weakness, but perhaps the greatest strength. Your species doesn't just use technology. You reimagine what's possible. As the ceremony ended, the Infinity prepared for another mission, this time with a crew made up of multiple species working together. Captain Olivia Garcia looked at her diverse bridge crew with pride. The galaxy laughed at us once, she remarked to Daniel as he prepared to enter the interface chamber. He smiled, his eyes reflecting dimensions others couldn't see. They're not laughing anymore. But maybe that wasn't the point. Maybe we needed them to laugh, to dismiss us, to give us the freedom to think in ways they couldn't. The Infinity activated its dimensional drive, reality folded around it, and the ship disappeared into possibilities that continued to expand with every human imagination that dared to dream beyond known limits. The universe, it turned out, had much more to offer than anyone had realized, and humanity, with its unique way of understanding reality, had just begun to explore what lay beyond the boundaries of the known. ****, the end ****.